Hi, welcome to SBRforum.com videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are continuing our coverage of the 2012 NBA playoffs with Jordan Sharp right now. It's about the middle of May, so the second round series have already begun. There are a few games in by now. Jordan, thanks for being back with us.
Thanks, Pete. It's good talking to you again.
Yes, excellent. Yeah, I see on the monitor half your face is dark and half your face is light. I like that look. It's avant-garde. It's kind of it's artsy. It's artsy. You know?
It makes my picks have a little more mystery to them.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's start with what your opinions are of how the series have gone. There's been one or two games in each of the series so far. The Spurs are just rolling again, rolling. My question for you is, when the series moves to Los Angeles, I mean, obviously no one thinks the Clippers are going to win this series, but what do you think of the Spurs -3 on the road at the Clippers? What do you think of that? That's kind of appealing to me.
Yeah, you have to take a look at it. Game 3, I didn't sense much urgency from the Clipper crowd in that first round series against the Grizzlies until that Game 6. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see. I mean, they're a team just kind of riding high. I don't think they ever expected to be in the second round. I mean, maybe, but at the same time, no one's putting much faith in them, including you and I, about them beating the Spurs. I think, honestly, until Los Angeles shows that they can correct what San Antonio came out of halftime of Game 1 and did, which is basically, we're going to trap Chris Paul all night and make everyone else beat us. Until they can prove that they can overcome that and get offense without Chris Paul really doing a whole lot, then you might have to lay off. But until then, I'm laying points.
All right, and then let's move on to OKC and the Lakers. Now, when this series started, the Lakers were a big underdog both in Game 1 and on the series line, and some people were thinking, like, well, is that too big? Should the lines be a little bit more competitive? When the series moves to Los Angeles, the Lakers right now at Heritage are about pick 'em. What's your take on those games? Lakers at home, pick 'em.
I have the pick in tonight of OKC -7.5 once again. I think it's going to be a good win. They're not going to blow them out. They're not going to blow the Lakers out again, but I do feel like they'll win by double digits, maybe 9 at the least. But yeah, Game 3 and 4 are going to be a complete different story, Pete. I think you're going to see a huge turnaround this series.
Really?
I don't think – now, I'm not saying that the Lakers are going to win the series because I do like the Thunder to win the series. But with the talent level that the Lakers have in the front court, and especially with that wild card Black Mamba Kobe Bryant, you cannot count this team out after one game.
Well, with all that talent you just talked about, then why do you think they got blown out in Game 1, and why do you like them to lose by more than 7.5 again in Game 2?
Because the Lakers match up horribly against the Thunder. The Thunder are the worst nightmare for the Lakers right now. Basically, the Thunder can match or exceed any sort of star power the Lakers have, and they match up so well with Serge Ibaka and Kendrick Perkins down low. Even though Perkins has been a little banged up, their bench big guys have been playing outstanding defense on Gasol and Bynum. I mean, they're just horrible matchup. As good as Metta World Peace is, he cannot stop Kevin Durant. And even with the upgrade of Raymond Sessions at point guard, Russell Westbrook has just continued his streak of destroying the Lakers.
Then why do you think that the Lakers might be a good bet at Pick'em in Games 3 and 4?
Kobe Bryant.
Okay, excellent. That answers it. And now let's move on to Indiana-Miami. Right now, the series prices have Miami at -295. Indiana is +235 at Heritage right now to win the series. What do you think of those odds? Do you think that that Indiana has a real shot at winning this series now?
With Bosch out, the Heat are, for lack of a better term, just tiny compared to the Pacers, and that's posed real problems. I mean, LeBron James was very vocal about saying that he does not like playing the power forward position at the 4, and it's proven a load for them. I think the series lines you look at are going to be about right. But by the way, a little selfless plug here: I am 2-0 handicapping this series right now. I was on Miami Game 1. I was on the Pacers Game 2.
Really?
Game 3. Yeah, you can look back on it. Game 3, I am on the Pacers money line tomorrow.
Really? So then maybe taking an Indiana +235 to win the series might be a great bet.
It's not a bad idea to put a flyer unit on it right now. But at the same time, you have to think about what happens in Game 3, because if you wait and the Pacers do end up winning Game 3, you're going to be faced with a lot worse odds.
I guess the only thing I'm worried about is Indiana comes in, maybe they win Game 3, and then David Stern makes his call, and all the refs are like, all right, we're giving 4 and 5 to Miami. That it's a done deal. That's what I'm worried about.
I completely agree with you, because I was discussing this with a friend of mine, and if you noticed, there were a lot of flops last night from Miami that were not called. And you're right. It just sits there in the back of your mind, and it's thinking, what happens if they get all those calls? How would Game 2 have gone then? But it'll be interesting to see who gets the calls in Conseco Fieldhouse on Thursday evening.
For sure. But definitely some of the key handicapping factors that you use to handicap professional wrestling definitely apply in the NBA as well.
When you're betting on who's going to win the Royal Rumble, it's basically the same thing as betting the Miami Heat.
All right, great analysis once again, Jordan. We will talk to you again next week.